Yo, so let's go ahead and dive in deep into this review because I got me some things to say. Now, I wish there was a better way to start things off, but I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. I didn't really like this movie. Now, I'm not saying that this is like a horrific train wreck of a disaster of a film. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I thought the movie was like meh. It's honestly what I thought about this film. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Like, let's take the special effects of this film. I thought the special effects in this movie were I thought they were okay. I thought they were decent or like average. It just I don't know. There was another movie. There was a Marvel film with Edward Norton where he played the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, and it's very similar. Like first off, I think the CGI in this film is very similar to the CGI in the Incredible Hulk, which is mad random, but same thing with the Edward Norton Hulk movie. I thought the special effects in that film were like kind of average. What they did with the CGI was fun, but it was just average in terms of quality. Very same situation here with Kong Skull Island. I thought the special effects were just average. There was nothing sort of amazing. There was never really a shot in the film where I was like, "Whoa!" But yeah, that just never happened. Also, well, I'll give a positive. I'm just going to interweave through positives and negatives. But positive, I thought that the cast was solid. I thought that everyone chosen, uh, solid cast for sure. But I don't know. Like at the very beginning of the film, one of the very first shots you see is like the camera is looking up. You see the sun, and you just see this figure of a human like flipping towards the camera, and they're like, "Ah!" And like we pan down to a beach, and it's like the younger version of John C. Reilly himself fighting uh, this one character, I think with a sword, and they kind of like continue the battle like through like this jungle near a cliff where we eventually see King Kong. Just that whole stretch right there. I know it sounds a bit harsh, and I don't mean it to, but I knew from just that opening sequence alone, I was not going to love this movie because it just like, especially with that moment with that little figure falling from the sun like into the camera, like that whole moment I literally thought like, did I accidentally walk into a Pixar movie? Like what are we, is it still during the trailers? Oh no, this is part of the movie. Oh shit. And so wasn't blown away by the special effects at all. And that's the thing, that opening sequence. It's just I thought the movie was very. It just made me roll my eyes, like it was just so. It was very over the top and just dumb. Like it's just a lot of dumb action. This is one of those movies that would serve you better if you could just turn your brain off, I suppose, prior to starting the movie. Unfortunately, that's just not like a thing that I do. I can't really just like turn my brain off and just be like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter how dumb it is, pour it in my head. Like I just personally can't do that. But hey, and well, what else? What else is there to talk about? I don't think that there was ever a bad performance. And speaking of the positives, I love the size of Kong. Like this is a probably the biggest that Kong has ever been. I'm definitely digging the size, but in case you were somehow curious, just real quick, just to deviate from the review, when it comes to Godzilla versus King Kong, personally, I think you're smoking crack if you think that King Kong is going to win. It's Godzilla all fucking day. Godzilla basically to me is a big ass fucking dragon slash lizard that cannot fly. The atomic breath thing from Godzilla, please, please. Godzilla is winning all fucking day. He's who I would all day. Godzilla. Anyway, another thing that oh shit. I just accidentally opened a software that I didn't mean to open. Another thing that didn't work for me was the humor. The humor in this film, like this little bobblehead Nixon thing, there was a lot of shots where they tried to be humorous with it, tried to make me laugh, and it just didn't work. And in all honesty, I only laughed about maybe 3 times within the film. There was one time where I wasn't sure if I was supposed to laugh, but I laughed anyway. there was one there was one sequence where it was during when they were at this section of the film with these skulls right here. When they were in this environment, there was a moment where I think it was John Goodman's character. He gets swallowed by this dinosaur thing, but his camera is still going off inside of the dinosaur's belly. And like there's like fog in the background like there is here, right? So people got their guns out, and like literally in the background in the fog you can see the fucking flash from the camera from inside of this dinosaur going off. So in the background they would just be like, you know, that old time camera sound. Like, that shit made me laugh so hard. I thought that was so dumb. Like, what the fuck? So random. Where else did I laugh? For those of you sons of bitches who don't know who John C. Reilly is, like, what's the matter with you? Really funny, cool dude. But they tried to inject so much humor with his character, and it just fell flat. I mean, most of the humor fell flat in this film to me. Like, it just didn't make me laugh. It didn't make me go, like that just didn't happen. But that one thing with the camera made me laugh. Wasn't sure if it was supposed to be funny. And there was one scene with him where he was in the woods, and he was like, "Hey, you hear those birds chirping up there?" I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, "Hey, you hear those birds chirping up there? Oh, well, those aren't birds. Those are just big-ass, giant fucking ants." he said some shit like that. Shit made me laugh really, really hard, surprisingly. And there was one other time that I laughed that escapes me. But, yeah. I only laughed about 2-3 times in total. And, like, I get what they were trying to do with the humor of him. Like, he should have been one of those people where I was like, ah! Where I was just cracking up, but it just didn't happen. I think the humor was poorly executed and badly timed, or just really, really cheesy, in my personal opinion. And yeah, just the film in general, I thought the plot was very poorly executed. Personally, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but I did think it was poorly executed. Like, I thought it was full of a lot of cliches. When they get to this environment, where is it? Okay, here we go. Same image, but when they get to this, okay, from this section of the film all the way to the end credits, I just thought it got exceedingly dumb. Like, first off, the whole logic about going through this environment to save this one guy was crazy. After all the shit that you guys just went through, like, seriously, this Valley of Skulls, as I'm gonna call it, right? Okay, so prior to this Valley of Skulls moment, right, these motherfuckers just got done with this situation here with Kong. Here we go. When they were first flying into the goddamn island, right? the whole cast just went through this whole moment where they're in these helicopters dropping bombs, and then fucking Kong comes out of nowhere, and it's just like ripping fucking helicopters out of the sky, literally, right? It's like, okay, you guys got past that, and now all you gotta do is walk to this one point, which you could probably safely do, and wait for this boat to arrive at a certain time in the morning or some shit. But no, Samuel L. Jackson, he's just like, no, we gotta go find this one guy. And he looks at Tom Hiddleston and he's like, yeah, you agree with me, right? And for some dumbass reason, Tom's like, yeah, let's travel to the Valley of Skulls and find this one guy. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? John C. Reilly, this dude who's been here for 28 years, he's like, I think this is a horrible idea. I think that's the worst idea you're going to come up with. And it's like, why? Like, you guys had ample opportunity to travel to a safe point and just wait there. But no, you want to go through this valley of skulls and basically walk through the most dangerous situations plausible when they could have been avoided just by looking at Samuel L. Jackson and being like, hey Samuel, fuck you. You got problems. Like, if you want to go kill Kong, do it on your own goddamn time. Don't do it on mine. Crazy. Like, this whole sequence, like, the whole thing between, like, Samuel L. Jackson having this vendetta against Kong, I thought was just ridiculous and laughable. Maybe that was the other thing that made me laugh. Because that one shot of where there's, like, this explosion around Kong's face, and Samuel L. Jackson's just staring at him from afar. It's right after that helicopter sequence I was talking about. Samuel L. Jackson is standing afar, just like looking at him with a menace. I was like, what? And this Samuel L. Jackson, I feel like I'm saying his name weird, but Samuel just has this weird vendetta against Kong through the whole movie that felt so unrealistic. Like, look, I'm sure it's fucked up that Kong killed all your men, but yo, bruh, we're talking about like a fucking 200-foot or some shit tall fucking ape. Like a 200 feet tall ape or some shit. Like, this ape is huge. How do you have this much hate? How are you so compelled to want to kill this ape that literally just took out your whole crew? Who were all in helicopters. Like, they were like flies. Like, it was just outrageous. Outrageous. Oh, I remember the one other scene that truly made me laugh. It was during this sequence where Samuel L. Jackson had created a trap for Kong, and Kong walked his ass through some water to Samuel L. Jackson, but like the whole, this scene right here, the water was like filled with some kind of gasoline, and Samuel like lit it and like blew the fuck out of Kong for a second. Okay, during that moment where Kong falls over, Samuel is about to like detonate this bomb to kill Kong. Holy shit, man. When he looks at Brie Larson, she's like, she said something like, you gotta stop or whatever. And he was like, bitch, please. That shit made me laugh so hard. It was so left field. So just out of fuck nowhere. That part made me laugh so hard when he looked at Brie Larson. Was like, bitch, please. By the way, Brie Larson is just bae. Like, that chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good looking woman right there. Holy shit. Anyhow. Also, another just random flaw. I thought this part was weird after Kong, towards the end, he gets done fighting those two dinosaur fucking things. Pterodactyl looking bastards. When Brie Larson, when she falls into the water right here, like, how did Kong know that she was falling? And how did he know exactly where she was to go rescue her ass? Like, wasn't Kong just distracted by these two fucking monsters? Like, how did he have time to fight these two fucking monsters and then go save this? Anyway, I know people who I could tell a lot of people probably. I might be in the minority with my opinion, which is fine. And I can tell that people who love this film are probably thinking, like, you overthought the movie, bro. It's not. What's wrong with you, bro? It's like the greatest Kong movie of all time. Hey, if you love this Kong movie, fantastic. But personally, I thought it was very cliched. I thought the plot had a lot of great concepts, but they were just executed poorly. I'm telling you. The action sequences, personally, I thought they were heavily influenced by the 2005 Kong remake. Like, this whole action sequence right here, I just thought was meh. Like, honestly, it just felt very like it borrowed heavily from the 2005 Kong sequences. That's what I thought about all of the action sequences, by the way, in this film. But for the record, the Peter Jackson 2005 Kong film is extraordinary. I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. The 2005 Kong movie is extraordinary. My only issue with the Peter Jackson Kong film is that it feels like by the time we get to the island, it feels like 3 hours already passed. That's my only issue with the Kong film. Other than that, Peter Jackson's Kong, in my opinion, is the definitive modern version of King Kong. I might have to review that someday because what Peter Jackson did with Kong is mind-blowing. The fact that Peter Jackson went from Return of the King in 2003 when it was released, obviously. But the fact that Jackson went from Return of King in 2003 and then just in 2005, he releases this mammoth, like $200 million budget, whatever, Kong film. It's just mind fucking. It's mind fucking. It's like a perfect love letter to King Kong fans, and this, in my opinion, is Kong Skull Island is. I just thought it was average, bordering on being below average, personally. It was just kind of wacky. It didn't feel very inspired. Kong Skull Island also, it just didn't feel unique. It didn't feel distinctive, you know? It just felt like, if Peter Jackson's Kong film was made because he just truly loves the lore, I feel like this was made as like a quick cash grab so we can get right to King Kong versus Godzilla. I don't know. Personally, I really wasn't digging this film. But it's not horrific. I'm feeling like a 5. I'm going to go with a 5 out of 10 on this film. What'd you think about it? I can tell that a lot of you probably loved this film. And hey, if you loved it, cool. I just really didn't. I feel like Peter Jackson's King Kong is the best we've gotten so far in modern times. This film feels like it borrows too heavily and just feels subpar. But hey, what did you think about the film? Let me know your thoughts down below. I think that's really all I got to say about this film. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to smash that like button and subscribe as well. In the lower right hand corner of the screen, you should see a little circular button. You can tap that to instantaneously subscribe, and I'm out. Huzzah.